Can we talk? Can we talk? Now, a lot of my past Can We Talks, video vlogs, uh, pretty much only seen by myself. But anyways, so of course, since I'm talking to myself, probably mostly to myself, I seem to have the answer. I don't have the answer. I come up with solutions. I come up with answers. I come up with my thinking, my thoughts. So I zoom in to what I already am holding to be. This Can We Talk is on a topic that has bewildered me, it continues to bewilder me, is currently bewildering me, probably will forever, no, it will not forever bewilder me. I'm entitling it, Mustard Seed? Question mark. Now again, I'm not a teacher, obviously, this is so not a teaching moment. This is Can We Talk? So Hebrews tells us, without faith, I believe it's Hebrews, but without faith it's impossible to please God, but we must believe that He is and that He's a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. Luke 10 tells us that we can tread on scorpions and snakes and nothing shall harm us. And then, of course, the Lord said if we had faith such as the size of a mustard seed, we can move a mountain. Can we talk? Mustard seed faith. So, if you watch any of my other blogs, you know that I'm going through something, an affliction from hell. It's now been a full calendar year. It's July. Ironically, I don't know. I'm starting to get better. I think I'm starting to get better because I don't have the symptoms as much, but it's still there. So I know it's still there, but I'm not having much symptoms. I say I think because I had to do some extraordinary methods and do some stuff I didn't want and got some different kinds of treatments, but I don't know if that's what's in it. I think it's just the Lord finally said, okay, now you can start getting better. I don't know, but I begged and prayed, and I've asked everybody who calls upon the name of Christ, you just ask them to pray for me, because, like I said, I think that the Lord answers our individual prayers sometimes. Well, no, Christian. Oh, Lord, please forgive me. He always answers. He just doesn't always answer the way we want him to, so we don't hear his answer, because his answer is no. And even though we see the no, we say we hadn't heard his answer because we haven't heard yes. So sometimes he answers us individually. Sometimes 2 or 3 together in his name. Sometimes requires prayer and fasting and deep petition. Sometimes we got to take it to the church elders and pray. Sometimes we have to go to the whole congregation. Sometimes we got to be like Hadassah, Esther, and have all of the land pray and fast. You know, I love Christian music and Christian music stations. A lot of places that have giving that require the people who listen to participate by, offering, money, offerings to the ministry. You have people who set up a match. I think I've talked about this before. They set up a match, and the current radio station I'm listening to, they had someone with this ridiculously large match, $100,000. And I'm sitting there thinking, but they'd only release it if they get people who donate up to $100,000. And every time I hear these matches, I'm thinking, well, that's rude. Well, if you got that kind of money to give, just give it. But the purpose is they want to encourage other participation. And that's how the Lord is, epiphany moment I had, with us in prayer, that even though he will sometimes answer, Elijah prayed, one person, and the heavens clamped up. Elijah was in front of all those false Baal worshippers, and the fire of God lapped up his water, their water, everybody's water. One person. But then sometimes, was it Hezekiah? They had the whole nation pray when somebody was okay, I can't remember the name. I'm not a Bible teacher. Somebody was making fun of them when they were trying to rebuild the wall. If the whole nation hadn't prayed, would the Lord have come through? I don't know. But I do know that sometimes he does have that match. Well, yeah, you got $100,000 solid, only if you do what I'm telling you and go to the elders and have them pray, go to the people, have them pray, fast and pray. I don't know. So here's what sparked mustard seed faith. Like I said, I'm starting to feel better. I don't credit medicine will not credit medicine. If the medicines helped some, but it was actually already, which kind of made me sad, mad. I'm like, why I do all this and spend all this money when it was already fading out? It was already fading out by the time I did what I did, and I knew it, and I knew it beforehand. I said, watch, it's gonna be fading out before it, and sure enough, but it wasn't gone, and so it's been slowly clearing. But it's still there. It's still there, and it's still aggravating. And at any moment, it could snap back, and it should be just as bad as it was before. So I'm hoping and praying the Lord have mercy on me, because it's been a year, a solid year, over a year, because it's into the month of July now. But I've been praying. I've been singing desperate at the top of my lungs. I've been seeking His faith, and seeking His faith, seeking His face in faith. I have been. And His word makes those promises. So when is it? Because I got this infection when I was praising the Lord. I was so overjoyed with Him getting me through another horrible situation. This state that I'm in is, but I've learned and I've grown so much. So it's kind of like I hate every moment I've been here. I love every moment I've been here, because I would not have just even putting this out there on YouTube, or some of the things that I think are insights. You be the judge, test the spirits. I wouldn't have had I stayed put in the same situation that I was prior to coming here, or I wouldn't have had I not gone through this horrible year of hell. So I know the Lord is using it, has used it, will use it for His good and for His glory and to help refine me. But I hate it, and it's horrible, and I need it to end. Really do, really do. But I got the infection at a moment when I was praising the Lord. I was rejoicing, so happy. So I went to the store before I filmed this, and there's a local ice cream brand. They make this pistachio gelato. Oh my gosh, golly, so good, so good, so good. And I was like, and wasted a lot of money, so I'm not supposed to be buying a lot of extravagant things as of late. So, but it was on sale. So I bought some, and I said, okay, well, this is what I'm going to have for dinner. Ice cream is a good dinner. You got your proteins. You got your, there goes the light. You got the proteins. You got your proteins, carbs, a little bit of carbs. Anyways, it's good. It's got some stuff. There's no vegetables. It's green though. Anyways, so I try to be very careful, because for some reason, I don't know why, invariably people look at me crazy when I'm at the store. The reason why people look at me crazy at the store is because I quite often pick things that are open, damaged, molded. I don't know why. The first item I pick up has been bumped, dropped, set back on the shelf. So I started picking the second item. And the second item would be worse than the first, damaged, dented, mangled. So now I get all ridiculous, and I'm digging out for the very back and picking the third one and doing all this. And people are looking at me, and they're like, what's her problem? And they're sticking their nose in their head and thinking that I'm being snotty, but I'm not being snotty. I haven't figured out yet what I'm supposed to learn from that. Why that always happens, that whatever I pick up at the store, I'm always going to pick up the one that's open, ripped, molded first. Every time. I mean, of course, what makes me wonder, Lord, is this just judgment? Is this punishment? I don't know. I don't know. Mustard seed of faith. Is He working on me to just trust? But then I got this nasty, horrible thing from hell at a time that I was praising the Lord. But I will say, at the same time, in hindsight, I do kind of remember that the Spirit of God was nudging me that something wasn't quite right. But I was so delighted. Which might be that time when, we think we're doing something for the Lord and we're so excited about it. And He's telling us, He's whispering, because He doesn't yell, don't do that. That's not for me. That's not what I want from you. Don't do it. But we know we're doing it for the Lord, and we're just so happy, and we're so excited, and we keep doing it. And the Lord's quietly saying, I'm not telling you to do that, put it down, put it back, walk away. That's not what I have for you. And we do it anyways, and we know that we're doing it for the Lord, and we're glorifying Him, and it fails. And we're left looking stupid. And we're like, Lord, I did this on your honor. I did this for your glory. And the Lord's like, yeah, and I was telling you the whole time, stop. But then, like, the last, I thought it was, and that, again, y'all can judge me in the comments if you like, if there's anybody watching. I was thinking that the nudging might have been the voice of the enemy trying to get me play on my fears, because I constantly have these fears and nervousness. Like I said, I had a whole lot more. I'm still not healed of that too, but a whole lot more fears and agonies and agonizing and all these trepidations. And so I just thought it was the enemy filling my head with trepidation. And so I went through. Mustard seed of faith. How does that work? Can we talk? So anyways, going back to what I was saying, I bought the gelato, and I was driving, as I was driving in, I was like, I wonder, and I dug the one from the bottom in the back. Actually, it ended up being in the front, but it was on the bottom of the front, but it was the one that looked like it had been in the freezer the most, so I thought it was good. And I'm like, I bet you anything, this thing is going to be open. I didn't even check. And I got in my apartment, and I checked the rims, and it was like, they didn't look open. I'm like, praise God, that didn't happen. And I went and did my business, and because I just came from in the store and stuff like that. And I sat down to eat my ice cream, and lo and behold, the flappy part, the main part with the extra plastic to make it easier for open, was open. So I said, should I throw it away? Should I trust in the Lord? Which way is it leading me? Is it a non-issue? When do we have this power to tread upon snakes and scorpions and nothing comes to harm us? When is it the spirit of fear that the Lord hasn't given us versus, I didn't tell you to do that? So I asked the Lord. I didn't hear it. Well, I don't audibly hear God's voice, but I didn't feel, but it's like, if He's not done His faith. So I had I like singing in the car, and I had and I've been doing a good day. I've been feeling healed. I've been feeling clearing up, and the ice cream, it was on sale. And then when I got the checkout line, there was a $2 coupon because I'm broke. So I was like, oh, Lord is really giving me this ice cream because it's on sale, and I got a $2 coupon, so it's even less than what he's giving me this, But I thought the same thing I ate it. To answer the question, yes, I did. I ate around. I scooped out the part directly below the flap, and I ate around it, and thrown away probably about 40% of it. I prayed and asked the Lord, give me insight. I want to be available for Christ Jesus. There's a wonderful song that comes on the radio. I will have no fear, no fear. The mighty hand of Jesus is watching. Something here. No fear, not over my family, not over my struggles, not over my life. God's over my life. No fear. Okay, so if you listen to Christian music, hopefully that's enough to take you to that song. And oftentimes when I get in my car and I start singing loudly, and then I'm like, I don't want to be noise pollution, but I'm going to praise the Lord. But, whether or not to sing loudly, potential, that song comes on. Like the next song comes on. And it's almost like the Lord is saying, praise my name, praise my name, praise my name, and don't be fearful about it. Praise my name, don't be fearful. But then I have situations like this ice cream, which is so minimal. But I have been through a solid year of nightmare because of a time that something I worshiped and praised the Lord about. And so I ate it, praying and trusting. I asked the Lord, Lord, I'm going to trust in you. Please let me know if this is a situation where you told me not to. But I'm believing the treading on scorpions and snakes, and that nothing shall cause me harm. This year of hell has been just that. But I do know that you have worked out a lot, obviously not all, but worked out a lot of problems within my walk through this. So whatever happens, you're in control. But please, Lord, don't put me through another nightmare, please. Can I ask? Can I ask? I'm going to keep asking. What I talk about? I'm going to keep asking and wrestling at the ladder. So what do you think? Again, no one watches my videos. But if anyone watches this video, please put in the comment. Mustard seed of faith. When does that come into play? Nothing shall harm us. How discernment, how do we know, especially because my life, the enemy has had a field day with me quite a bit. So it's sometimes, and I've been disobedient quite a bit. So it's logical that I have to be concerned. Is it something that the Lord is wanting me to do? Is it, when it's extra biblical, meaning it's not something that's specifically stated in the word, do not touch this, go there. There are things in our modern day life that are, not specified, and opportunities that come in to encourage others, witness to others, stand for Christ, do things, stewardship, things of that nature, that come through that aren't clear. And I've listened and watched a lot of sermons about knowing God's will and things of that nature. But when there's situations that could cause problems, like a poisoned ice cream, or what happened to me that whole year of hell, nothing shall cause us harm. I believe his word. I know his word. I do feel like all the prophecies are true. Bad times are about to come quick. We're going to have a period of prosperity. It's going to look like everything's hunky-dory. And then 24 hours, just like that, our world will be completely shaken, and it will never go back to ever anything that we looked at before. And it'll be something of an astonishment in 24 hours period. After a period of great harvest and rejoicing and seemingly growth in Christianity. I do think that is happening. If we're still here, which, I don't know, because the Lord didn't say, he specifically didn't say, you have man's opinion, but he did not specifically say, if we're still here, and we've got to make do with what we can find, we've got to handle situations and go places that we're going to need to have that, what somebody said? Somebody said, we need to have I think it was Brandon again, we need to have a crowbar spine, but we need to have spines of steel. We need to have feet of rock that shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. We need to have that faith that the Lord will provide, the Lord will protect, the Lord will deliver. So he works that in us through trials and tribulation, but I haven't gotten it yet. So I'll make another video in 7 more days if I get sick again, because I shouldn't have eaten that ice cream. And that one will be titled, When in Doubt, Do Without. That was what my grandma used to say. When in doubt, do without. No, that's not what she said. She said something else. I made up, when in doubt, do without. Well, I don't know if I made it up. I don't know where it came from. But I don't know. So can we talk? The mustard seed of faith. The treading on of scorpions. Any insight? Can we talk?